Today, I'm going to show you how to draw a floor plan using ArchiCAD 26, and I'm going to take you through easy to follow steps on how to do that, like I've done in our previous ArchiCAD 25 tutorials. So let's begin with the first step, which is how to open an ArchiCAD 26 program. Double click on the ArchiCAD 26 icon, and once you do that, this will pop up. At the top of your screen under New, that's where you click to open a new project. On this part, you click to browse existing ArchiCAD 26 projects, and this allows you to share your project with other selected users who can work on your project online. This is where you see your recent projects. Under this, it's where you enter your settings for ArchiCAD 26, and you can sort your projects in terms of last used, size, and type. At the bottom, that's where you click to quit ArchiCAD, and on this part, you can click on to get started with ArchiCAD tutorials, sample projects, and more. So let's go to the next step, which is how to open a new ArchiCAD project. Click on New, and this will pop up. Let's create a new project from Template. Select this template, and then under Work Environment Profile, select Default Profile and click New. Once you do that, a new workspace will be created, and this is how it will look like. So before we begin, let's save our project. At the top, click on File and drop down to Save As. Let's select the type of our project. Click on that, and then select the folder you want to save your project in, and type in the name of your project. Once you do that, click on Save. The next step will be entering settings for dimensions and working units. At the top, click on Options. Click on Options. Drop down to Project Preferences and click on Working Units, and this will pop up. Under Length Unit, select millimeter. For the decimals, enter 0. Under area unit, that's the setting. These are the settings for volume unit. And these are the settings for angle unit. These are the settings for layout unit. And for numbers without units, enter that setting and click OK. The next step will be setting settings for storage. But first, let's enter settings for the dimensions. Click on dimension. Select plane millimeter. Select that. For linear dimensions, select millimeter. And these are the settings for that. For the witness line scalability, click on scaled and click on OK. Now let's enter settings for our storage. Click on that part. Select ground floor. And at the bottom, click on settings and this will pop up. Let's enter the height for our ground floor. It will be 2,850 millimeters. For this, enter the same height and the same as the second story and click OK. Now the next step will be drawing our grids. So let's begin. Under document on your left side, click on ground floor. Click on document and drop down to grid element tool. Double click on it and this will pop up. So let's begin entering default settings for our grid element. Under floor plan, select that. Select this type of line. For this, enter that. For the markers, check those two boxes. Under section and elevation, these are the settings. Select that. For the line, select that, the dashed one. And for this, enter that. These are the settings for the markers. Type that. And the same for this. These are the settings for naming rules. Select that and start with A. These are the settings for the marker. Type 5 millimeters. For the text style, select that and select that. Enter that as the settings and under text, type 2 millimeters. and then click OK. So to begin drawing your grid, click inside the workspace. Let's select this point as our start point, and this point is our end of our grid line. And once you do that, your line will be drawn. Now let's drag a copy of our grid line. Click. Let's begin drawing our grid line again. Type that as the distance of our grid line. Click on it, right click, click on move, and drag a copy. Drag a copy by 2000 millimeters. Drag another copy by 4700 millimeters. Drag another copy by 1200 millimeters, and drag another copy by 2800 millimeters, and do the same, but this time type in 700 millimeters. Now let's rename our grid. Type 2, the other one type 3. For this type 4. For this type 5. And the next one type 6. Now let's draw the other grid line. Under document, click on grid tool. Click on that point and this other point and type 15,000 millimeters. Let's adjust our grid line and name it A. Let's drag a copy of that line by 1500 millimeters. Drag the other one by 2700 millimeters. The next one, drag it by 1375 millimeters. The next one, drag it by 1375 millimeters. And the next, drag it by 3100 millimeters. And the last one, drag it by 1000 millimeters. So now let's change the names of our grid line. Name these as B, type C. For this, name it D. The next one, name it E. For these other one, name it F, and then G. So now that we are done drawing our grids, let's begin drawing our walls. So in the next step, I'm going to show you how to draw walls in ArchiCAD 26. Under Design, drop down to Wall tool, double click on it. Once you do that, the wall default settings will pop up. So under Geometry and Positioning, these are the settings. Click on that part. Click on this. And then type the thickness of our wall as 200 millimeters. Click on that. Under this, select ground floor. Type 0. For the reference line, select outside face. Type 0. So under floor plan and section, these are the settings. These are the settings for model and override services. Click on them. Click on this part. And under plaster, which is stucco, select white rough. Do the same for this other surface. Under plaster, stucco, select white rough, and the same for this other surface. These are the settings for the structural analytical parameters. This is the classification and properties setting. And once you do that, click on OK. So now let's begin drawing our wall. Click once in our point of starting our wall drawing, and you're going to click on where these two grids intersect. Grid B and 2. So click on wall. Click on this point of our grid line. Drag your mouse and click on this point. Click on our wall. Right click. Click on move. And then click on drag. And drag your wall by 100 millimeters. So that the grid is at the center of your wall. So let's begin drawing the other parts of our wall. Click on wall. Click on this point. Drag your mouse and click on this point. Click on the wall. Right click and drag it by 100 millimeters. Now let's join these two walls. Select the walls. At the top, click on intersect, and you'll notice our two walls have been joined. Under design, click on wall tool. Click on this point. Drag your mouse and click on this point. Let's move our wall by 100 millimeters. click on intersect. Let's draw the other part of the wall. Click on that point. Drag your mouse and click on this point. Then drag your wall by 100 millimeters. Then let's join our wall. Click on intersect. Now let's draw the other part of our wall. Click on that point. Drag your mouse and click on this point. Move by dragging that wall by 100. Click on the two walls and intersect. Click on intersect to join them. Click on this part of our grid line and drag your wall to that part. Move your wall by 100 millimeters and then join the walls. Let's draw a wall on this part. Click on that point. Drag your mouse and click on this point. Drag your wall by 100 millimeters. Join the two walls. Click on wall tool. Click on this part of our grid line. Drag your mouse and click on this part of our grid line. Drag your wall by 100. Then let's join. Click on that part of the wall of our grid line. Drag your mouse. Move your wall by 100 and then join those two walls. Click on this point. Drag your mouse and click on this point. Move it by 100. Then let's join these two walls. Click on that point. Drag your mouse to that point. Move your wall by 100 millimeters. Then join to those two walls. Click on wall, click on this point, drag your mouse to that point and drag your mouse by 100. Then let's join these three walls. Now let's view our progress in 3D. That's our external wall. Click on this part. And this is how our wall will look like in 3D. Let's join these two walls. Click on the two walls and at the top click on intersect and the two walls will be joined. Now let's continue drawing our walls, but this time we will draw internal walls. Let's drag this wall. Click on that point and drag your mouse to this point. click on this point, extend your wall all the way to this point. And for this wall, extend it to that point. Then let's drag a copy to this point of our grid line. Let's drag another copy of that line. Now let's rotate a copy this time. Click on that point, and drag your mouse, and your wall will be rotated. Let's join those three lines. Extend it to that point and extend this line to this point. Now let's drag another copy of this line. Place it there. And then click on it and move. Let's trim it. Delete this part. Right click on wall selection setting, and then type 150 millimeters. Then move your wall to that point and drag it by 75 millimeters. Then extend this point of the wall to that point. And that's how you draw walls, both external and internal, in ArchiCAD 26. Let's view our progress in 3D, and this is how the walls will look like. Hi, this is part 2 of this tutorial about how to draw a floor plan using ArchiCAD 26, and I'm going to begin by showing you how to insert doors in a floor plan. Under Design, drop down to Door tool, double click on it, and this will pop up. We are going to select this type of door. This is it. Click on it, and let's begin entering settings for the door. Under Preview and Positioning, type 2400 millimeters as the height. Under Hinged Door Settings, for the door leaf, select that. For the handle, select this. Under Opening Type, enter that. For the frame, select that. And for the detail level, enter that. Click on this part and select Model Attributes. Under Frame, Leaf and Sash Surfaces, check that box and select this. For the floor plan and section, these are the settings. For the dimension marker, select that. These are the settings for classification and properties. Click once in your wall to insert your door, and you can change the position by dragging your mouse. Let's position it there. Now let's view our door in 3D, and this is how it looks like. Now let's change our door settings and select black and click OK. And that is how it looks like. Now let's continue inserting doors, and you're going to insert a door here. Under design, drop down to door tool, and you're going to select this type of door. Under preview and positioning, change the height to 2400 millimeters, and for the door leaf, select this. For the handle, select that, and for the model attributes, change them to this color, and then click OK. Click once in the wall to insert your door and position it by dragging your mouse. Click on it, right click and drag your mouse to position the door on that point. Now let's view our door in 3D. Now let's insert other doors. Let's insert our doors here. Under design, drop down to door tool, and you're going to select this door. Under preview and positioning, that's the height. For hinged door settings, select that. For the handle, select that. Under model attributes, select that and click OK. Click on the wall to insert your door. Let's view our progress in 3D, and this is how it will look like. Now let's insert other types of doors. Select this door, type 2400 millimeters. For this, select that and that. For the model attributes, select that and click OK. Now let's insert another door in our laundry room, and we are going to select empty door opening. Select that, change the height to 2400 millimeters and click OK, and insert that door here. Now let's view our progress in 3D, and this is how it looks like. Next, we'll be inserting a door here. Click on door tool and select sliding doors, and you're going to select this. Change the height to 2400 millimeters. For this, select that. For the handle, choose that. And then for the model attributes, select this and click OK, and insert it here. And this is how it will look like in 3D. Now let's proceed with the next step, which will be about inserting windows in our floor plan. So this is our progress in 3D. Under design on your left side, drop down to window tool. But let's begin by drawing a slab before we insert our windows. So click on the slab tool. Under geometry and positioning, change the thickness to 150 millimeters. Select that. For the reference plane, choose that. Under floor plan and section, select those settings. Under model, these are the override services, and you're going to select white rough stucco. These are the structural and analytical parameters, and these are the settings, classification and properties, and then click OK. At the top, under geometry method, select that. Click on this point to begin drawing your slab. Click on this other point, on this point, on this other point, on this point of our floor plan, and follow the instructions as shown on the screen, and then click on the point that we started. Let me adjust this part. Now let's view our slab in 3D. And this is how our floor slab looks like. Now let's move to the next step about inserting windows. Here, under design, drop down to window tool, double click on it, and this will pop up. You're going to select special window, and then you're going to choose curved window. Under preview and positioning, for the width type 2000 millimeters, for the height type 1400 millimeters. For special window settings, under frame and sashes, select model attributes, check that box, and then select that. Click on this part. For sash options, type or enter grid settings. For the pane numbers, under vertically and horizontally, type 3 and 3. For the width, type 50, and for the thickness, type 50. These are the floor plan and section settings. And these are the dimension marker settings, and then click OK. So click once in the wall to insert your window and choose that direction. Let's view our window in 3D, and this is how it looks like. Click on it, click on window selection settings, and let's make some changes. Under sash options, let's change the thickness to 25 millimeters, and this is how it will look like after making that change. Click on ground floor, and now let's insert windows in other rooms. Under design, drop down to window tool, and then let's change the thickness to 25 and 25, and click OK. For the pane numbers, change them to 2 horizontally and vertically, and click on this point to insert a window. Insert a window here, insert another window here, insert another one here. Let's view our windows in 3D, and this is how they will look like. So that's our progress so far. Let's save our progress. Under ground floor, click on that. Now let's insert windows on these parts of our floor plan. Under window, let's change the dimensions to 900 millimeters by 900 millimeters. And for this part, type 1500 millimeters and click OK. Click on these points to insert your window, and click on this point to insert your window. And this is how it will look like. Let's move to the next step. and we're going to insert objects in our living room. Under design, click on object tool, and once you do that, this will pop up. At the top, type, click on this part, and then drop down to, now let's type at the top here, sofa, and you are going to select this type of sofa, and then click on this part. Under preview and positioning, type 0 and click OK. Click once in our floor plan to insert the object. Click on the object, right click, and select rotate. Let's move by dragging it to this point. Right click, click on move and drag. Click on object tool, and now let's insert a TV stand. Select that and click OK. Click on this point, click on your object, right click, and select rotate. Let's view our progress in 3D. And this is how our living room looks like so far. Let me rotate this TV stand by mirroring it, then drag it to that point, and that's how our TV stand looks like. The next step will be inserting a TV on top of our stand. Under design, click on object tool and select this TV. For this, type 400 millimeters and click on this point to insert your TV. Let's drag these objects to that point. Under design, drop down to object tool and type table, and you're going to select this type of table, insert it here, and let's view it in 3D. Let me adjust this, type 0, and this is how it looks like. The next step will be inserting a carpet on the floor. Type carpet, and we're going to choose this and type 0 and click OK. Click on this part to insert it, and then let's rotate it that point and adjust the size of our carpet. Right click and click on objects, right click and click on display order, send backwards. Let me adjust the sofa and adjust the carpet. And this is how our carpet looks like in 3D. Now let's insert objects in our bedroom. Under design, drop down to object tool and type bed. Once you do that, drop down and select this type of bed and click OK. Click once to insert it in our floor plan. Let's rotate, let's drag it first and then rotate it. Position it there. Now let's view our progress in 3D, and then you're going to insert a wardrobe on that part. Click on ground floor. Under object, let's type in wardrobe. And you're going to select this type of wardrobe and then click OK. Insert it here. Let's extend it to this point. And then let's view it in 3D. And this is how it will look like. And that's how you insert objects in a floor plan. Now let's move to the next step, and you're going to insert a column in our floor plan. Under design, drop down to column tool, double click on it, and this will pop up. Under column, on your right side, type in those settings. Under positioning, these are the settings that you're going to enter. Select vertical. Under home story, select ground floor. So for this segment, type those settings. Under structure, under model, override surfaces, let's choose white rough stucco and click OK. Click on this point to insert your column. Let's drag it to this point, and then let's enter more settings. Click on that point and type 450 millimeters, and then drag it to that point. Let's view it in 3D. So that's how you insert a column in a floor plan using ArchiCAD. Let me adjust. Under column, select not linked and type -150, and for this type 2850 millimeters, and this is how it will look like. Hi, this is part 3 of this tutorial about how to draw a floor plan using ArchiCAD 26, and let's continue from where we had stopped in our previous tutorial. Under design, double click on the slab tool. Under geometry and positioning, change the slab thickness to 300 millimeters and select concrete structural and click that. For this, select that, and that's the reference plane settings. These are the settings for floor plan and section. These are the settings for model. Select white rough stucco, and these are the settings for classification and properties. So let's begin drawing our slab. Click on this point, drag your mouse and click on this point, click on this other point, click on this point of the floor plan, this part, and this, and then click on where we begin. Select our slab, right click and click on slab selection setting, and for the height type 2850 millimeters. Now let's view it in 3D, and this is how it will look like. Now let's extend it by 450 millimeters. Extend this other part too. Drag it to this point. Click on this other point and here. Now let's view our change, and this is how it looks like. So now let's select our external walls. Let's begin. Click on the ground floor. Let's select our external walls. Click on this point, this point, this, Let's cut that wall. Select this other wall, this wall, this other part of the wall. Let's select this other external wall, this one, and this. Right click and select wall selection settings. Click on not linked and type 4000 millimeters. And let's view that change in 3D. Right click, select wall selection setting. Let's change this to 3700 millimeters. That is how it will look like. Click on ground floor. Under design, click on slab tool. Under geometry and positioning, type 150. And on this other part, type 2850 millimeters and click OK. Click on this point. Under geometry and method, select that. And let's draw our roof, which will be a slab. Once you click on the points as shown on the screen, we are going to view our progress in 3D, and this is how it will look like. Select that slab and let's change the surfaces to click on paint and select paint as dark gray, and then on this other part select wood finish, and this is how it will look like. Now let's change the paint for our column so that it matches our slab. That is how it will look like. The next step will be inserting a slab on that point of our floor plan. Click on slab and change this to 300 millimeters and this type 150, and you're going to change this to dark gray and click OK. And click on that point, click on this part of the floor plan and that. Let's view our progress in 3D, and that's the change that will be made. Now the next step of this tutorial will be dimension settings. So under document, click on dimension tool. Under dimension style, select the options as shown on the screen. Then choose that and select that, and then choose this. For the text style, these are the settings that you're going to enter. Select that, and under this, choose Western. For this part, select that and type 2 millimeters is the height of our font. Select that. Under marker and witness line options, these are the settings. For the pointer, these are the settings that you're going to choose. Type 2, type 1000, and these are the dimension details, and these are the properties details, and then click OK. Now let's begin entering our dimensions. Click on the wall, click on this part of the floor plan, click on this other part, and then click on this, and click on a point in our working space. Drag your mouse and click. That's the first way of entering dimensions in our floor plan. Now in this next step, I'm going to show you the second method of entering dimensions in our floor plan. The first thing you're going to do is select let's select the next step will be selecting walls of our floor plan. Under design, click on wall tool. At the top, click on edit and then select all walls. Once the walls have been selected, click on document, click on annotation, automatic dimensioning, external dimensions, and this will pop up. Select overall dimension and check the boxes as shown on the screen. Distance between dimension lines 500, and check this box and click OK. Click on the workspace, drag your mouse and click on this point, and then click on this other part of our working space, and your dimensions will be automatically added in our drawing. The next step in this video will be let's view our 3D drawing. We are going to change this part of our wall, and then you're going to insert an opening on this part of our slab. In the ground floor, select this wall, click on split, click on this part of the wall and split it. Now let's select the wall we've just split, right click, click on wall selection settings, Once you do that, let's change the surface to that and click OK. And you'll notice there's a change in our wall. Now the next step we are going to do will be inserting an opening on this part of our wall. Let me adjust this slab. This is the part we are going to change by inserting an opening. Under Design, choose Opening tool, select that, and then click on that part of the wall. Select the opening and type 200 millimeters. Then let's adjust it to this point and drag. Let's adjust the dimensions of the opening and then view our progress in 3D. And this is how it will look like. Now let's insert objects in that part of the slab. Type planned and choose this and click OK. Click once to insert the planned. Select it, right click, click on object selection setting and change it to 200 millimeters by 200 millimeters. Let's view it in 3D, and this is how it will look like. Click on it and type -150, and then let's drag copies of that object. Type 7 and drag your mouse to that point. Let's move a copy to that point. Let's view that change in 3D. The next step you're going to do is adjusting heights of different plans. Type 900 millimeters. Let's change the height for this. And type 700 millimeters. And this is how our progress will look like. So the next step will be click on ground floor, click on viewpoint, select elevation tool, and let's begin drawing our elevations. Under general settings, these are the settings for our elevation. Type elevation E01, click that setting. For this, select that. For the status, choose that. For the horizontal range, select infinite. And for this, select that too. For the model appearance, these are the settings that you're going to enter. For the marker, these are the settings. Select that. And then for the marker size, type 3. And then select this. And check that box. For the marker text style, these are the settings that you're going to enter. Then type 3 millimeters as the font size. For the marker symbol, you're going to select that. For the marker style, you're going to choose that. And for the foreground, you're going to choose that. And then check that box. These are the settings for the story levels. These are the settings for the story level symbols and text. And these are the grid tool settings, and then click OK. To begin drawing your elevation, click on this part in our workspace. Drag your mouse and click on this other point to end your elevation. And let's draw the other elevations. Click on that point and click on this other point to end your elevation. Do the same for this other elevation and this other elevation. So that's how you draw elevation lines in ArchiCAD. Let's change the name of this elevation to that. Let's change this elevation line by entering those names. Let's change this side, this elevation to that. So that's how you draw elevation lines in ArchiCAD 26. Hi, this is part 4 of this tutorial, and let's begin by opening this elevation. Click on it, right click, and select Open with Current View Settings. Now let's begin editing this elevation. Right click and click on Elevation Settings. And the first edit will be inserting a shadow in our elevation. Under Model Appearance, drop down to Shadow. And check this box and click OK. Once you do that, you'll notice there's a shadow in our elevation. And the next edit we are going to make is under cut element. Click on cut fill and select that. On this part, check that box and select that and click OK. Now the next step will be for uncut elements. Click on uncut fill and select that. Check that box and select this and click OK. Once you do that, you'll notice there's a change in our elevation. Now let's change this and select that and click OK. And this is how our elevation will look like. The next step will be inserting let's change that first, and then the next step will be inserting objects in our elevation. Under design, drop down to object tool, double click on it, and at the top type tree. And once you do that, you're going to select this type of tree. Select this type of tree. Then let's enter some settings for this tree. Click on this part and select 2D representation. Under view type, select symbolic side view, and you're going to choose this type of tree. Select that, and for the pen, select that and click OK. Click once in the elevation to insert your object. Click on it and let's drag it to this point. Let's click on display order and send backwards. Click on it again and display order and send it backwards. And now you'll notice that our object is in the back of our elevation. Right click, click on object selection settings. Under preview and positioning, let's change the height of our tree to 6,000 millimeters. Let's move it to that point. Let's drag a copy and place it here. Let's adjust this by changing the type of tree. Click on that and you'll see this is a different type of tree. After making that change, let's proceed to the next step. let's make another change on our elevation. Click on this tree and adjust the height. Then let's drag a copy and place it there. And let's change the width of the tree. Now the next step will be inserting people in our elevation. Under design, drop down to object tool, double click on it, and at the top type people, and let's choose this. Under preview and positioning, those are the settings. Under custom settings, select that. These are the 3D settings, and then click OK. Click once to insert your people in our elevation. Let's drag them and place here. And that's how you insert people in an elevation. The next step will be inserting a car in our elevation. Type car, and you're going to select this. Under custom settings, select car elevation settings and select style 2. Click on all parameters. Under view type, select front. For the sample style, select that and click OK. Click once to insert your car, and then move it by dragging it to this point. We can also change the view type to side and click OK. And this is how it will look like. That's how you edit an elevation in ArchiCAD 26. Now the next step will be creating a section for our drawing. Under viewpoint, click on section tool, double click on it, and this will appear. Let's enter settings for our section. Under general settings, type that. Under name, change it to that. Select this. Select that. For the status, choose that. Show on stories, select all. Under horizontal range, select those. For the model appearance, these are the settings. For the marker, select this and click on continuous and select marker add at ends and choose that. Check these two boxes. choose that. For the marker size, for the marker text style, these are the settings. Select that and that. Select that option. And for the font size, choose 3. These are the marker symbol and text. Let's choose that. And for this, select that. And click OK. Click once to begin drawing your section line. Click once in the workspace. Drag your mouse and click on this other point to end your line. And that's how you draw a section line. Let's open it. Click on it, right click, and click on Open with Current View Settings. And this is how our section will look like. The next step will be drawing our foundation and inserting details of our section. So let's begin. Under Document, drop down to Line tool, click on it, select this pen and choose that. Click here, drop your mouse, drag your mouse and type 1000 to 100 millimeters, 1200 millimeters. Type 200 millimeters. Draw a line of 200 millimeters. Draw another line 600 millimeters and another line of 200 millimeters, 200 millimeters and 1200 millimeters. Drag that line and place it there. Let's drag a copy of these two lines, and position them here. Click on Line tool. Draw a line here. Click on it and drag it by 50 millimeters. Drag it all the way to this point. Then let's drag another one by 300 millimeters. Click on Line and draw a line from this point to this other point. Click on this other point and place it here. Let's cut this line. Click on Cut. Then let's draw another line on this part. Click on that point and position it there. Click on this other point and position it there. After that, the next step will be inserting fields in our elevation. Under Document, drop down to Fill tool, double click on it, and these are the settings for the fill. Select that. For this, choose Structural Concrete and click OK. For this part, select that, click on this point and click on this other point. Let's make a change on this fill and select that. Let's drag a copy of this and position it here. Select Mansory block. Click on that point and click on here. The same for this other end. Now after that, let's insert another fill for this part of our foundation. Select Filled Stone and click OK. Move by dragging a copy of it to that point. Let's mirror a copy. Point, place it there. Now let's drag a copy and place it here. And then let's adjust our fill to fit inside the lines. After that, let's insert another fill. Under Document, click on Fill tool and select Hearth. Then click OK and select that. Click on this point to begin drawing your fill. Click on the fill and send backward. And that's how our foundation looks like. Now the next step will be inserting labels in our elevation. Click on Label tool. Once you double click on it, this will pop up. Under Type and Preview, these are the settings. For the text style, these are the settings that you're going to enter. Click on that. For the pointer, you're going to choose this. For the arrow end, those are the settings, and then click OK. Click once in the workspace. Click there, and then let's adjust our label. Now let's type in details of our foundation. Click inside this box and then type in your foundation details. Let's adjust this, and then after that you're going to enter details for the other sections of our section. And that's how you insert a label in an elevation. Hi, this is part 5 of this tutorial about how to draw a floor plan using ArchiCAD 26. So let's begin. At the top, click on Window and drop down to Toolbars, and then click on Layouts and Drawings, and this will appear. Click on it and drag it to this point, and then let's create a new master layout. And to do that, you're going to click on this part, and this will pop up. Under name and size, let's rename our master layout. Type the name of your master layout. For the size, select this and choose landscape. Under display master layout, click on that. Under drawing placement, click that. And then click on create. And your new master layout will be created. Now let's customize our layout. On the left side of your screen, under document, drop down to line, double click on it or click on it. At the top, select that, select a solid line, and for this pen, select that and click on that. Click on this point, drag your mouse and click on this other point to end your line. Select it, and then let's move by dragging a copy of that line by 100 millimeters. Click on this point and drag your mouse and click on this point. Now let's insert a text in our master layout. Under document, drop down to text tool, click on it, select that, and let's choose that color. Click on this point and type in notes. And let's make it bold. Let's change the size of our text to 4 millimeters. Click on line, Let's create another line. Drag that line by 10 millimeters. Let's position it at the center. Let's proceed creating the other parts of our master layout. Click on text and then type in the notes for your drawing. Let's adjust this line, this size of our text. Let's draw another line here. Then let's drag a copy of that line and drag it by 22 millimeters. Let's drag a copy of this text and place it there. And let's type in fire notes. Let's change this to 3 millimeters. And then let's create other lines. Drag that line, a copy of it by 5 millimeters. Let's adjust this. Under document, click on line tool. Let's create another line and drag it by 1 millimeters. Adjust it to this point. Drag this other line by 1 millimeter. Mirror that line and drag it to this point. And then let's select our lines and cut these edges. And the next step will be dragging a copy of these lines. Select all lines. Let's drag a copy of this line. Drag another copy and another copy. Then let's change this text. Let's type in project title, working drawings, and under this type in client details. Use the same process we have just used to create this other part of the title block. Now let's proceed to the next step, which will be opening layouts and placing them in our master layout. So at the top, click on new layout and this will pop up. Under identification and format, choose that. Under layout name, type in floor plan layout. And then under master layout, click on the layout that you had created. And then click create. Now let's open our floor plan and place it on our new layout. How do you do that? Right click and drop down to save view and place on layout. Now let's adjust our view so that it fits inside our master layout. Can click on this point, drag that part and position it at the center. Let's adjust this other part. Let's adjust this other part. Now let's move our drawing and place it at the center. Click on that point and you can move your drawing and adjust it to a position you want. The next step will be creating a new layout and placing it on our master layout. And you're going to place our section into our master layout. So at the top, you click on new layout. And then under layout name, let's name it sectional elevation. Under master layout, select that and click on create. Let's open our section. Right click and click on save view. And then let's place it on or inside our master layout, and then let's adjust it to fit inside our layout. Let's adjust these ends, and then let's adjust this other layout, this other side. Let's position it here. Now let's create another new layout of an elevation. So click on new layout, and then under layout name, type in let's create let me repeat the process again for the section. That's where you place it, and then adjust these other parts. And then once you're done creating this section, you're going to create let's adjust this part. Let's adjust these parts. Now let's create a new layout for our elevation. At the top, click on new layout. Let me adjust this view. Click on new layout. Under layout name, type in south elevation. For the master layout, select that, click create. Open our elevation. Right click, click on save view and place inside our layout. Now let's adjust so that our view fits in our master layout. Click on this point, drag it and position it there. Click on this point and position it there. Then let's drag this part and place it here. And once we have adjusted that, let's click let's adjust it and place it inside at the center of our master layout. And that's how you place views and sections inside a master layout. Now the next step, I'm going to show you how to print these views into a PDF. On your right side, click on layout book. This on here you will see the layouts that you have created, and these are the layouts that you're going to publish into a PDF. Let's begin with the floor plan. Under publisher set, select that. At this part, click create new publisher set and type in the name of your set, and then click create. Then at the bottom, click on publisher settings, the set properties, and select that. Create a real folder structure, and then select the path that you want your publisher to be saved in, and then click OK. The next step will be right click and click on organizer, and this will open up. The next step will be clicking on your layout and placing it on your publisher set. Now let's print this layout. Select it. These are the settings for the properties. Under this, these are the settings for format, and you're going to choose these settings. And then the next step will be selecting layout, the entire set. Now let's select layouts which are current, and then click on publish. You'll see under status it's shown as saved. Now let's open our folder to confirm that our layout has been saved, and here is our layout. So that's how you publish a layout into a PDF. Now let's publish the other two layouts. That is the sectional elevation and the south elevation. So let's publish this layout. On your right, click on this part, publisher set, right click and click on organizer. Select your layout, here it is, and place it in our publisher set. Click on it, and at the bottom click on publish. Once the status shows that it has been saved, let's open our folder and confirm the details of our layout. And you'll see that it has been converted into a PDF. The next step will be publishing our sectional elevation layout. Click on Publisher Set, right click. That's the one that you're going to publish. This is the layout. On your right side, click on Publisher Set, right click, click on Organizer, select your layout and place it in our publisher. Click on it and click on Publish, and then confirm the status and check your folder. That's one way to publish layouts. The other way can be selecting all the layouts and publishing them at once instead of doing it one at a time. Let's delete all these layouts. Now under Publisher, right click, click on Organizer, select, let's delete this. Let's select all the layouts and then place them in our publisher set. Select, we're going to print all of them at once, the entire list. You're going to print out the entire list. And once all the layouts have been confirmed that they have been saved, here is a list of all our layouts. And that's how you publish a layout into a PDF.